Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Football Gaze MetaSoccer Manager YouTube channel. We're joined today by Philipp, who's going to talk us through a little bit about the Unbound Nation and their links with MetaSoccer. So welcome Philipp, you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Pleasure to be here. My name is Philipp. We've started Unbound Nation last year in October. I don't have a professional gaming background, don't have a professional crypto background, so got into this space last year after I quit my job, which have more of a manufacturing and contracts background, and then wanted to do something that I found really fun with me and my co-founders. So we got into the gaming space and started a guild, which it was at that time, and then we started with Axie Infinity, and then slowly got into more and more games, and now we are evolving out of the pure guild model, and I'm sure we'll speak about that a bit in a bit of more detail later, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, well, first question, I guess, is probably how did you find MetaSoccer as a guild and what attracted you to it in the first place?
So we, as I said, we started with Axie Infinity, scaled quite aggressively in December last year, January, and built a community of several thousand people with over 1,000 gamers. And then we started looking into potential other games, and we were very selective because we noticed that some of the games, or a lot of the games out there, were not really sustainable. So we were looking for proven concepts, games that have proven themselves in, say, the old Web2 world, possibly games that have already, or that are modeled after real life use cases. And man, we all love football, so I don't exactly know who made the intro to Gustavo, but it was pretty quick. We spoke to Gustavo, loved the game. I personally went to Barcelona for the introduction of or the reveal of Ronaldinho. Met with the core team, met with the everyone in the core team, and from the beginning we were very much convinced that this is going to be one of the probably best Web3 games that we've seen. So it was a pretty easy decision for us to get into it.
Yeah, I think from speaking from the team myself and the locker rooms and things we've done, they are all very passionate about it, and they do make a good job of selling, what they're trying to build. And I think they're all really invested in the fact they are trying to make this football manager game, which is really fun game to play with the play to earn aspect on top of it as well. So I think that's something that sells it to a lot of people. A lot of people that are joining the game now, I think, are finding that as well. So
I think so. I think so too. I mean, I myself, I used to play EA's Football Manager when I was, I don't know, maybe 13, 14, and I used to get up before school. So I used to sleep in all the time. I could never get up in the morning for school. But when I was playing Football Manager, I got up an hour earlier just to play. So I was super excited to see that this is now coming to the blockchain, and being enhanced by the crypto aspect of it. Don't want to really say play to earn because I think that term is burned a bit by some of the games out there that are not really interested in making great game. But again, very much convinced that this is going to be.
I tend to agree with you in that obviously the play to earn as a title is sort of what obviously MetaSoccer is falling under now. But there's you're right in that there does need to be a change in the play to earn or the click to earn in terms of an actual play to earn system where you're playing and you're earning on top of it, which I think will, as time goes on and things develop, we're hopefully going to get to somewhere where that play to earn is actually the correct title, and things that fall into that category, you're playing them to earn, but you're also playing them to play as well. So I think that's definitely something that needs to hopefully evolve throughout the space, and I think it probably will, given some time. You mentioned a number of scholars and things you have within your Discord and as part of Unbound Nation already, but how many of them are you expecting to be actively involved in MetaSoccer?
I think that will depend a bit. So as soon as we see what the PvP game is going to look like, we will decide whether we will or how aggressively we're gonna scout further and develop the player base of both the in-game player and our gamers. But at the beginning, I'm expecting maybe 30 to 40 managers.
Yeah.
And then we will see how the game evolves and how we evolve with it.
Yeah, I think realistically that's probably a good starting number. I think you'll probably get a lot of interest from outside of when the game is becoming more mainstream for people that will be looking to join Unbound Nation and use your setup, I guess, to kickstart them in a game and get them going. So that number could probably rise quite fast, I guess, assuming that it's, the earning potential is there to keep people invested, but also the gameplay is there to keep people invested. So yes, I understand we have to wait and see a little bit about.
Yeah, and I think that's really key. I mean, that's whenever we've been quite picky in making investment decisions. So we're not invested in a lot of games because we feel that, as you just said, I mean, many of those games are really just click to earn, move to earn, these kind of things, and we can discuss at length about whether these can be sustainable or not. But what we think is going to be sustainable in the future are games that might attract a certain portion of people who are there to earn, but mostly the game has to be fun first. And if it's fun first, then you'll attract a rather large crowd that is there for the game and not necessarily just to extract value from the game.
Yeah, and that in itself helps prop up the economy of the game, where people that are playing and investing money for the enjoyment will allow the people that are desperate there just to make money, they can still then do that. So I think that's the fine balance you need to work on creating in the game economy, because obviously a lot of the things that are working against certain projects at the minute is the fact that the enjoyment level isn't there. They're going in and 99.9% of the people are there purely to extract earnings from the game, and in real terms, not everyone can make money on the game. It's just not possible. There has to be some people who are investing in it in order to pay for the other people who make money. Otherwise, the whole system doesn't work. So, yeah, I think that's definitely something to be mindful of, I guess.
No, I was just saying we jokingly call them Ponzinomics. When those games, they rely heavily on new users flowing in, and everyone is just in the game because they think they can sell at a higher price to somebody else coming later into the game.
Yeah, definitely. So what features in MetaSoccer are you most looking forward to? I guess team management's the main one that's going to kick it off for you. Once you've got your team management set up, you can start delegating your teams and things. What else outside on top of team management are you looking forward to in MetaSoccer?
Yeah, so definitely number one. Then really looking forward to the PvP mode, because I think PvE is nice and it's fun, but I mean, we are competitors at heart. We love competition. We love to see different people compete. We want to build clubs within MetaSoccer that have a bit of an identity, where the managers build an ecosystem around the club, not just purely playing, but do some marketing for some clubs. And the way we envision MetaSoccer to be at some point is that you really have those bigger clubs that have a following, that have fans, that people want to see compete against each other. So I'm really looking forward, or we are really looking forward to the competitive aspect of it, because that's when we really think that's when the game is gonna really kick in and take off, probably.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of things. You play FIFA against a computer and it's nice and it's enjoyable, you have a good time, but then it feels so much better when you actually know you're beating a real person. Just a little bit more enjoyment there to know you're beating somebody else.
I've trashed so many of my PlayStation controllers. Because I lost against friends, and my living room wall had a lot of black spots at some point, because I was a bit.
So you won't play in MetaSoccer yourself then, when you can see?
Yeah, I mean that was like 20 years ago. So calmed down a bit since then.
Yeah, I hope so. You'll be 90th minute goals going in, your laptop will be going out the window. So it'll be an expensive game to play.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously PvP. I think as well, the one good side that's coming out is the discussions that have been in the Discord through the rest of the team, which have been, the PvE earnings up until now have looked quite good, and obviously there hasn't been much of a token drop in the first few payouts, but Gus and whoever else from the team have always stated, that PvP rewards are the main aspect of this game. So I think one of the exciting parts of that we're waiting for is to see, you know, what are the rewards going to be? Because I think realistically, there's a decent prize pool set aside for, you know, PvP earnings through scout sales and everything else that's gone on, MSU, which has been used to scout players. So I'm thinking that, you know, realistically, there should be a decent amount of prize pool available once PvP kicks off to actually make it, you know, attractive to people to come in and play. So I think we might see another rise in players when that is the case, when we actually can say with a, you know, bit of certainty, these are going to be the available prizes to us just through standard PvP, weekly, monthly tournaments and whatever else. So yeah, it's definitely one of the exciting bits that's what outstanding at the minute. So yeah, something to look forward to.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the way it should be, because rewards should flow to those who possess the highest level of skill, who are the best at playing the game, just like in let's say a real world game, right? The best football players should be paid the highest because they are the best, and best managers should be the same. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and hope to see that the incentives are in line with that idea.
Expectation, yeah, I think so. Have you have Unbound Nation considered what they might be interested in doing when the stadiums become available? I know we don't have many details at the minute, but is that something you'd be interested in doing? Or
yeah, well, when we invest in a game, we really want to go all in. I'm not saying we are spending money on everything, but if it does make sense, yeah, there are no limits to our imagination.
yeah, I think that's one of the for me anyway, it was one of the parts of the game which I'm looking forward to, in that you can own a part of a stadium, and you know, you get not just the income side of things, but you have that stadium which is like part ownership by yourself. You can play your games there. I think that just adds a different level to the game, which, you know, doesn't exist in many that are out there currently. So it's a different level or a different experience that you probably can't get from other things. Even when, you know, you talk about like football manager games and things like that, which exist, that stadium is your team stadium, and you might get it renamed after yourself after 25 years. You don't actually own that stadium, whereas in this game you will. So I think that's just a different level of interaction with the game, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, something to look forward to.
Absolutely is, and there are so many ways to use that in a game later to balance the economy and make it more sustainable. So you could have different stadium owners compete for the finals, the MetaSoccer finals of whatever league or cup. So you'd have to pay a certain fee to be the chosen stadium, etc. So I think the guys have everything I see on the roadmap is very, very promising in all those regards.
Yeah, definitely. So I think you've obviously got a decent starting position for over a very short time in Web3 gaming, you know, play to earn things through Axie and through the games you've started developing. Where do you see, obviously we talked a little bit about where we think the game needs to go to in terms of making the enjoyable game and whatnot, but where do you see Unbound Nation fitting into the global economy of the play to earn game, I guess?
Yeah, so in general, and that's what I was alluding to at the beginning, we are seeing us moving a bit away from the pure guild model, because what we are seeing is that in the market in general, there are more and more people who own NFTs and own larger chunks of NFTs, and they don't play with them. So let's say more passive investors. So we think that is a pity, and that's not a case that anyone wants. So what we are working on and focusing more and trying to do is to connect these people with people who want to play. So not necessarily always investing ourselves into assets, because there are people out there who own assets. So connecting gamers and those asset owners or NFT owners, which is a win-win-win for everyone, because as a game developer, you don't want an asset to be sitting idle in some kind of wallet. You want people to play. So you grow the community, you have more people playing, you get a bit of a return for those that own the assets and maybe speculating on them. So that's where we think where we are evolving to a bit more. And then again, I think for us, when we get into a game, we pour everything into it. So being a bit of an extended marketing thing, bringing community to the game, building brands sometimes within the game. So talking about different football clubs, etc. Yeah, that's where I see us fit.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good place to be as well. I think you go in the right way about it from the things you are putting out on Twitter and things in terms of getting involved in a lot of different people's spaces, similar to this, I guess, where you're coming on and you're talking about, Unbound Nation's role, but also, the gaming setup as a whole. So yeah, I think it's really got a really positive future and things are looking really bright. So if anyone's looking to check out Unbound Nation, I'll drop their Twitter handle and all the details for the Discord and everything else in the description for the video. So make sure to check them out. There's some great stuff in their Discord and also on Twitter. Philip, thank you very much for joining us. There's been some great insight from you there. I think everyone else will be really excited to see what MetaSoccer holds, just like you and the rest of the team are. So thanks very much for that.
Thank you, Phil. It was a pleasure.